Welcome, everyone. You're back at Bedroom Voice Books. I'm so happy to see you all. And I've been missing doing this a lot. Unfortunately, I've been sick. Oh, such a bummer. But now I'm back, and hopefully, we can continue with our recording, our nice little reading. And tonight, we're having a special reading for Mysterious Obsession by Nihc Ronoel. Yes, it's it's not actually a steamy scene, but still, it's really worth listening to. And she has it up at Good Novel. So, anyway, we're reading chapter 21, The Consequence. And I hope you all enjoy this nice little session here at Bedroom Voice Books from the Watcher. And this is Ma'am Dinar. Alright, let's begin. Hey, what are you doing? I asked, as if my mind left me for a while. But Aris was like a freaking idiot, just kept on smiling. I glared at him out of disbelief. I heard how my heart jumped when he held me in his arms in a bridal carry, but I wouldn't let him feel it. Instead, I began hitting him. And while I beat him on his left shoulder, I also kicked my right leg up to show that I didn't like what he was doing. If not for his stunning dimples, I would have punched his face already. He looked at me with eyes with long lashes. Stay still, Andrea. I'm guessing you're underweight. I didn't even sweat while carrying you. I could throw you wherever I wanted to. Don't move. All right? He commanded before he fixed his eyes on what was in front of us. Still walking so proudly. I wondered about what was going on in his mind right now. But was it important? I should focus more on what I used to feel every time he called me Andrea. I could never deny the fact that the simple gesture of calling me by my real name could send electrifying shivers throughout my spine for the umpteenth time. And where would you like to throw me, huh? I asked him with a raised eyebrow. I was challenging him, yet I didn't have any other choice but to firmly wrap my arms around his neck. Who knows? The idiot might drop me carelessly when I'm not even prepared. Even so, I felt that Aris was somewhat stunned from what I did. I even saw how his Adam's apple went up and down from swallowing, although a vague expression was still evident on his face. I just want to remind you that you're inside my territory, so don't challenge me, sweetheart. No one can ever stop me from throwing you on my bed, not even you. He threateningly stared at me, but roguishly winked at me afterwards. My natural reaction would be to roll my eyes, but I couldn't believe that I gulped instead at what he said. My left ankle is okay now, Aris. You can put me down now. I even stuttered in a lower tone, as if I acted like a restrained tigress in front of her master. Did I just let myself be tamed by him? Oh, no way. He did not respond, and just continued to walk until we reached the breathtaking seashore in front of his resort. 5 long deck chairs, each with individual mattresses, umbrellas, and side tables, were uniformly aligned, facing the seacoast. The afternoon sun bathed the surroundings in its warm light, making me reminisce about my childhood years when I was running along the spectacular white sand and tiny shells of the El Nido beaches. Too bad. Aris was holding me right now and I couldn't even walk properly due to my swollen ankle. The azure sky was sprinkled with fluffy white clouds that floated lazily in the gentle breeze, reflecting on the crystal blue sea. As waves began crashing against the shore, birds chirped and I could feel the humid sea air. Overall, it was peaceful and quiet, far from the busy city. Where are your companions here, Aris? I didn't even see one of your maids or gardeners. Where are the caretakers? I asked while moving my head sideways, trying to search for people. This beachfront resort had side barriers, so I couldn't see if there were people in the neighboring resorts. I could see some people paddling kayaks, but they were too far from us. From here, we could also get a glimpse of some scenic rock formations and outcrops. I have 7 people working for me here, but I let them take their leave for now. I figured I have to close the resort for a month because I'd be staying here, but they can resume their work tomorrow morning, he answered. The end of my lips curved into a gorgeous smirk as I stared at it. Whoa, what a nice boss, huh? Is that even real? I told him sarcastically. I'm not finished, Dre. I gave them an additional rest day today so that we can be together here. Alone. Just the two of us. You see, everything was well planned by a handsome heartthrob, he huskily said, while his face was in line with my jaw, carefully placing my body on the first long deck chair near us. I saw how he placed our cellular phones on the side table and looked at me afterward. How could you? I was about to push his chest away from me when he quickly took hold of my wrist, calming me against my will. You're not even a heartthrob. You're a fuckboy. Remember that. I rolled my eyes as I comfortably rested my back on the deck. Hey, relax. I'm just kidding, okay? You're my friend. Not my fling, not my short-time partner, and most especially not my bed warmer. You're my friend, Ray. And that's what makes you different from any other. I was surprised when he quickly leaned towards me and tenderly kissed my forehead. I guess the fact that you're my first friend other than Jerome is the reason why you're extra special to me. He continued. I was surprised by what he did, but all I could do was just to utter his name while looking into his eyes. Aris. My heart began beating faster and stronger as if I was running on a treadmill. Damn it, why do I feel this way? What's happening to me? My mouth fell open, trying to find something to say, yet no words came out of it. I was dumbstruck as hell as my heart slowly melted. Is this because I always love being kissed on my forehead? Dre? He softly uttered my name, like it was made only to be spoken by him. He started to lean his face closer to me, as I couldn't get away by staring at his now dilated pupils. I slowly fell into his charm, and without breaking our eye contact, I just found myself doing nothing to stop him from what he would do next. It felt like I was already so mesmerized by him that I even closed my eyes to spoil the moment. My heart kept on beating faster and louder because I knew that by his gesture, he was going to kiss me. I even had an indescribable vision of his breath soothing my every nerve. But why was it taking so long for him to do it? Was he still looking at me? Was he memorizing the shape of my face or measuring my long eyelashes? Or was it just me who assumed that he would kiss me when he really wasn't going to? I slowly opened my eyes to see what Aris was doing, and I literally was shocked to see that his eyes were just staring at me blankly. Now my heart hammered on my chest, not because of the anticipation of his kiss, but because of sudden fear. His eyes were all black, and I could not see any emotions on his entire face. How I wished that he was only joking right now, but I knew he was not. Seeing Aris like this, I could feel nothing but blind terror. I was frightened from my head down to my toes. I would have screamed all of a sudden, but I chose to calm myself for me to focus more on the right thing to do while I still could. What happened to him? Where's the real Aris that I was with? He was just smiling at me, but now... Aris? I carefully touched his face with my cold and clammy fingers. When I did not receive any response, I strongly patted both of his muscled shoulders. Aris! I squealed. Dread gnawed at my insides as I started becoming afraid of what was happening to him. The next thing I knew, my right palm had already made contact with his left cheek as I slapped him real hard for him to try and wake him up to reality. But still, he did not react to me. After a few seconds, my eyes grew even wider in horror when he vacuously stood up from sitting by my side and slowly walked towards the direction of the sea. I followed him, despite the ache that I was still feeling from my left ankle. Aris, if this is some kind of a joke, this is not funny. The fear clawed up to my throat as my voice began trembling. This is not freaking funny, I yelled. But he didn't even turn his head to me, as if he didn't hear any of what I said. He continued to walk through the sea. An extreme panic seized my brain when I saw that the level of seawater was already around his waist. But I knew that this was not a joke at all. I saw his eyes. They were all black. And his facial expression, it was all gone, as if he was under an unknown spell or charm. I would rather choose the Aris who was always mocking me than the Aris I was seeing right now. I would rather see him live as a good-for-nothing Casanova than die like this and be eaten by the sharks. Aris! I shrieked when all I could see above sea level was just his head. I looked around to find someone who could help us here, but I was alarmed that I couldn't even see those people kayaking from a while ago. There was no other person here to save Aris except me, and for that, I decided to follow him and started to swim despite my swollen ankle. Aside from being a licensed engineer, professional model, and a retired artist, I was also a damn good swimmer. I guess it was because of the adrenaline that pumped through my body, and I thank God that I managed to reach Aris despite my condition. I was about to get to him and pull his body upwards, even though he was quite heavy, when I heard something that started to perk my ears up. My blood froze in my veins as I tried to find and see where it came from, but I was unsuccessful. I couldn't be wrong. I couldn't fully remember but I was certain and 100% sure that I've already heard that horrible sound before. That was how I proved that Aris was under a mermaid spell, not minding the freezing seawater. Dread crept up my spine upon my realization. Could that be Juno? But if I let her take Aris in this kind of situation, there would be no doubt that he would die. In just 2 days, he showed me that he could be a true friend, and a part of me would surely miss him. So if the dead Aris was what Juno wanted for her to bring him to her world, I couldn't and I would not let that happen. Out of all my research about mermaids and such, there was one thing that I would never forget. If it would help save Aris's life and stop Juno's enchantment, I would do it without hesitation, even though I had to suffer the consequences in the end. I was about to lose my breath when I grabbed Aris's face using my remaining strength. I knew that I was able to kiss him before I fainted. Well, there we go. That was Mysterious Obsession by Nihc Ronoel, and it's featured in Good Novel. So I'm very happy that I'm back again with Bedroom Voice Books, and I hope you enjoyed the reading that I had today. Again, this is Mab Dinara of the Watchers, hoping you'll come again for another session with me. You have a nice night now. Bye, and see you soon.